Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. Now, tonight's presentation, my name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. Now, tonight's presentation, I know there's some volatility in the market. I know the homepage doesn't look that great right now. However, I do see opportunities there as long as you play it safe right now. That being said, I resorted the electronic stock sector. There's over 250 stocks in this sector. Tonight's presentation, we're going to break down the 10 safest stocks. That's right, the 10 stocks with the highest RS rating. We're going to go into the chart patterns and just see if there's some opportunities to be made. So if you're interested, stick around and let's get started. Now, before we get started, those that are new to the channel, RS, relative safety, right? It's an algorithm computed from an analysis of the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance, debt to equity ratio, sales volume, business longevity, price volatility, and several other factors to give you a good sense if this stock is going to be a safe pick or not, right? Now, as you take a look at the electronic sector here, look, 257 stocks found in this sector, right? RS, that's how we're resorting the stocks. So out of these 257 stocks, these are the stocks at the top of the list right now. You can see some sell recommendations coming in, for those that are aggressive, want to buy the dip. Here's some potential plays for you. But even though the safety factor, look at this forecasted data. For the most part, we're seeing double digits across the board. There's only one stocks here, Flex, which is -6 sales growth rate, 6% earnings growth rate. Not too impressed with that right now, but look, the stock is moving up. So it looks like there's going to be some opportunities with these 10 stocks, and a lot of these stocks I don't hear a lot of people talking about right now. Obviously CLS is a very popular one. It's up 13% this morning. We've got Avantis Corp here. That's the only stock down other than Nvidia. We see Taiwan, Boyd, Broadcom, along with APH. So let's go ahead and check out the graphs and see exactly if there's money to be made. All right, first up at the top of the list, Nvidia. I'm not surprised it has the highest safety rating, right? Not necessarily the best time to be buying. Like I said, I did a video on this yesterday. Had to be aggressive. Look, price action getting back into the zone I mentioned last night. I'm not going to go too much detail. Check out the video last night. Go in a lot of detail when it comes to Nvidia here. If it breaks below this here around 117, I am concerned, right? We've got a gap here, some consolidation. I can see a zone maybe finding a level of support beginning around 110. And if the bears really do pick up, I do see a level here between 101 and about $96. Now, if we take a look at the second stock here, we've got TSM. I do have a 20-day EMA here. Look, price action right at that 20-day EMA right now. We did get a rejection there. I see an upper wick here if I zoom in a 3-month time span. But yes, TSM, I like the stock overall. Again, they're one of the, the powerhouses in the AI space. They're the manufacturer for NVIDIA, AMD, as well as the likes of, Apple, Amazon. A lot of these other big companies utilize TSM for their manufacturing purposes. And look at the growth rate here, 22% earnings, sales growth rate, 37%. I like what I see here, and I think this is a dip. If you want some confirmation, again, get back above that 20-day EMA. Otherwise, if you are in it, I would put a stop right around the prior swing low. That gives you about 7-8% stop right now to the downside. But if we hit a new low, by definition, we will be in the beginning of a downtrend. Now, if we take here, we've got Boyd. We see the high here coming just over $40 here, $42. But look, price action, if you want to take a look at a dip here, and if I use a freehand line, we can see the break of this downward trend as well. A nice retest here. Every time price action gets back down to this line, we see our bottom wick here, buyers in control. And today, full-bodied candlestick. So I like what I see. This might just be a dip taking a nibble at. Now, if we take a look at the next stock, we've got Broadcom here. I was mentioning this earlier in the week. Broadcom, I see it as a great value right now. Look, we almost filled the gap here that we had before. We see price action here pretty close to filling that gap. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we try to retest this 185 level. But right now, with today's gap up, looks like buyers, for the most part, in control. I see a little bit of a wick to the upside. If you want more confirmation, you can wait for that price action to get back above that 20-day EMA. Otherwise, we did get a fresh buy rating on this position as of today. Here's Boyd once again. This one's very gappy. I'm not a big fan of the candlesticks here. As far as price action, very similar to the other Boyd. It broke its downward trend line. We got a retest. Nice full-body candlestick as of right now. So I do like what I see when it comes to this position as far as buying any kind of dip. Now here we've got APH. This stock I'm not too familiar with. But look, we're getting rejection right at that 20-day EMA. We see price action when it gets above that 20-day EMA, usually gives us a good run here, at least historically speaking, over the last 6 months. But if we take a look at the gap down, obviously this was caused by the sell-off on Monday with DeepSeek. We see price action here, buyers coming in control. I like what I see here. If I use a horizontal line, I could probably get some resistance right around this level here. From about $72 to about $73 and some change. Right now, we're just over 71. So if you want confirmation, hey, we're not too far away. Otherwise, if you're already in the position, surpassing today's bottom wick would have me concerned. Now, this is also a very gappy stock, probably not a lot of volume here. Smaller company, semiconductor manufacturer. I see a lot of consolidation, a lot of sideways trading right now. I'd have to see some kind of breakout, in either direction, but here's the bottom of that consolidation. Here's the top around $65. So for the bulls, if you want confirmation, looking around 65. If you're more aggressive, as long as you put a stop here right around the bottom of this consolidation around $54, only about $3 away. So on a $56 stock, you're talking maybe 5-6%. So not a lot of risk there, but again, it is very gappy. So overnight trading would be my biggest concern when it comes to this position. Here we've got Fabrinet. Let's take a look at a 1-year chart here. I'm not a fan of it. So much volatility up and down. I mean, I could see the range here, pretty clear range here. The bottom of this range coming around 200. The only advantage is we are at the bottom of this volatility. But look, we've got a sell rating here, price action below the 20-day EMA. Unless you're a trader, this is not the type of stock for you. Right now, it's at 216. Honestly, if you get up to around 260, 270, not a bad idea to take some profits off the table. Otherwise, wait for confirmation above this. We might just have a really big breakout if the stock can get out of its own way. Next, we've got Flex, lower left, top right here. I like the price action. It's back above the 20-day EMA. A little bit of a dip here. I do have a gap. I do see the gap to fill, fresh buy rating. And honestly, look, one sell rating here right at the beginning of the year. We see the red little dot here. But otherwise, buy ratings across the board here. So the stock moving up. I like what I see here. It's actually a really good position here. This is called Flex. Again, this is another in the electronic space. Miscellaneous would be the industry. Now here we've got CLS. This is going to be the last stock on the list, right? We see the big gap down from the deep seek. But since then, buying pressure off to the races as well. It did have its earnings. We spoke about this yesterday in the live stream. The earnings was reported yesterday. The earnings call was this morning. I didn't look or listen to the earnings call, but I see the gap up. Even with the sell-off here, look, buyers starting to come back in. I see a bottom wick. If you want confirmation, take out today's high for that confirmation. We still got some room to the upside before we get to a gap to fill. I would be concerned of this as a level of resistance here, maybe some rejection. But if we get a breakout to the upside, this stock may just take off. And I look at the valuation, the stock's undervalued right now. But hey, this is my favorite chart pattern, right? Look, value on the rise, price action on the rise. It's above its 20-day EMA, fresh buy rating. I like what I see. Now, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's presentation. I know a lot of these stocks we don't really normally talk about, obviously in videos at the top of the list. Hey, good luck on these trades. Hopefully this puts some, some stocks on your radar to potentially make some money going forward.